And that's Game Informer. That is Game Informer in a nutshell. They were owned by GameStop. They were first carried by GameStop, then they were owned by GameStop, then they were published by GameStop.
I saw this. That's interesting. Razor, I'm sure you partake in some Game Informer over the years, over its 33 years. Game Informer? Yeah. What about you, Josiah? Did you ever get in on the Game Informer world?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I dabbled.
So Game Informer, obviously the magazine that was owned by GameStop for a long time. They just kind of up and kind of shut everything down on Friday, which, if you're going to shut things down, usually Friday is the right time to do it. You don't want to do it like on a Wednesday. You do it on a Friday, pay people through the week, and then you shut it down. Well, they went in and they like shut down their website, put out a post on X, and it was people criticized it for being very impersonal and kind of AI written, just kind of like generic corporate speak. If you go to gameinformer.com right now, and this is a story that's, we're going to get to why I want to talk about this today. Yes, it was done. They said, after 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being a part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end.
Brings a tear to my glass eye.
Yes, it was a sad day. So people saw that, and they were like, yo, that's kind of impersonal. And you just kind of like a generic, like 33 years into about 100 words. All right.
Fuck you!
Kind of what it felt like, right?
Yeah. Wow.
The X account for Game Informer had the exact same thing posted on it.
Yeah.
Until somebody who had access to the Game Informer account actually went in and made a genuine goodbye post. And they went in and they kind of posted really quick. This was yesterday, I believe. Says our 33-year legacy deserves a genuine goodbye, written by a former Game Informer member. We're heartbroken by the shutdown of our publication, yet we leave with pride knowing we poured everything we had into it. In the words of our editor-in-chief, be well, play well. So they included everything here. They included, the people behind it and everything like that. And guess what happened as soon as that was posted? They literally, GameStop literally went in
shit.
and closed the entire account.
Damn.
Wow.
They closed the entire Game Informer account.
Bro. That is so just.
They couldn't just leave it. Just log out.
Yeah, so great.
That is Game Informer in a nutshot right there. Like, it's just. I've contended this for years. Game Informer is like patient zero for the plague of just modern games journalism.
Yeah, you think so?
Absolutely. I don't think any single publication contributed more to skew. You know how we have like a 1 to 10 scale for games, for the quality of games or whatever? And at some point, a bad game became a 6 out of 10.
Yes.
And a great game that they got paid for usually is a 10. Mm-hmm. Right. That's the scale. Game Informer are 100% to blame for that. 100%. I remember I picked, so I did a series called the Downfall of Gaming Journalism series that kind of presaged Gamergate. And I did an episode on Game Informer, and I picked a random issue from December of 2009. So this is because of when this is published. This is after the holiday season. So there's no good games that come out in a December issue, right? This should be a bet. And it was 2009. A year where the industry lost 31% of its revenue year over year. Like, not exactly a banner year. So I picked this random issue out of December, a bad month in a bad year, and I couldn't find one game that got a score lower than a 5.5. And that's Game Informer. That is Game Informer in a nutshell. They were owned by GameStop. They were first carried by GameStop, then they were owned by GameStop than they were published by GameStop. And
Right.
GameStop stood to profit from them giving games higher scores. So that's exactly what they did. They skewed their entire scale, and the entire industry followed them because they were the #1 video gaming publication. I truly believe they were patient zero of that phenomenon.
That's interesting to think about. You hit on something which I think a lot of people will talk about is the kind of the trophy generation nature of, so everybody gets a trophy nowadays. Everybody blah, 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 right? And when you talk about a scale that is originally 1 to 10, and then it's more or less 6 to 10, right? You might as well just do 1 to 5 because you're cutting out first 1 through 5, and you just got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is definitely something to that. You've seen this across society as a whole, right? The thing that, to bring it to sports, I like the NBA. I like watching the dunk contest, and they don't give out 1s anymore for missed dunks. They give out a 6. That's like the lowest score that you can give. How do you give out a 6 for something that didn't happen?
Right.
It's give it a 0, give it a 1. It clear, but everybody's ego is so fragile. And you're right. It served GameStop best interest to keep publishers, developers happy. Well, your game had issues, but it wasn't really that bad. Josiah, do you see this in the movie industry a lot when it comes to review scores and such, just placating to stay in the good graces, the Axis media things?
Yeah, especially with oh dude, like critics are ridiculous. There's only like maybe 2 genuine critics that are out there, if that. Jeremy Jahns is like the only one that I think can actually be honest a lot of times, and a lot of time, like even Chris Stuckman, right? Like he was he's been a reviewer on YouTube for years and years and years. And he refused to review Madam Web when that movie came out because he was like, I'm going to be too hard on this movie and I don't want to give it a bad score. So I'm just not going to review it. Like that is just pathetic. So yeah, I think that a lot of the critics out there are, they're trying to keep in the good graces of the system, and they'll do whatever they can to get invited to those special parties. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's all over
cooking.
What's that?
Little spirit cooking?
Yeah. Yeah. Little baby consumption, no big deal. Which is funny because Jeremy Jahns, because he is actually so honest with his reviews, he doesn't get invited to those parties. So it shows you that, it is a thing. Like, people who are too honest about how they feel about movies will suffer because of that. But on the other hand, Jeremy Jahns is also like the most popular reviewer on YouTube because he is honest. So, it just depends on who you're trying to appeal to. Are you trying to appeal to the actual people out there, or are you trying to appeal to the higher ups and things like that? So yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, speaking of ridiculous, bringing it back to this as a whole, I do think it's ridiculous that GameStop and somebody over at their corporate office was like, we can't have this. We can't have this final send off, for Game Informer, and just totally nuking the entire X account because of it. It's like, we must.
If you've walked into a GameStop recently, I hope they have their farewell message written, because they're going to need it soon.
I'll tell you this.
I walked into my local GameStop a couple of weeks ago. The air conditioning was out. Ooh. And they had giant air conditioning units on the sides of the freaking desk. And my editor walked into that same GameStop like a week later. Same thing. Still one of the air conditioning units had broken, one of the aftermarket ones, external ones, and they hadn't fixed that either. Like that's the state of GameStop right now.
A building where a bunch of gamers, frequent is not good to lose their AC on. For sure.
Define bunch.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I haven't been to GameStop in years.
No.